Holly, do you want to go first, since you need to leave early?
Yes, I would, thank you. Well, I would like to, I'm glad to say that we've started now on the Robbins and Birchville renovations of the cafeteria. This past weekend, we did have the base coat put on both cafeterias so they could get good and dry. They will be coming in during spring break and doing all the painting that needs to be done. And then on April the 26th, they will be coming in, bringing the decor and all the furniture to go into the cafeterias. The plan as of now is to unload at Robbins Elementary School, hopefully in the gym. I've talked to Miss Robin about that, and I think we've got that all worked out. Then they will go on to Birchville and unload and start putting all the furniture in and all the decor up. And then when they finish there, they plan to go back Friday to Robbins and then complete their school. And that way it gives them, if there's anything that they have to spend more time on or anything happens, then they have the weekend and Saturday to work on those. We will be ready. Robbins we'll probably do a sack lunch for them on Friday because they'll need to be in the cafeteria part. But we'll be ready in case something happens and we need to do something at Birchville. But we've done it now for other schools. Hopefully we can get it all in, and we're all anxious to see the other two schools done. And then when we get those, then all the schools then have been, all their cafeterias have been renovated. We've also completed all our health inspections this year, and I'm proud to say that every one of them got 100s, except for one inspection, and it was a 99 because they had left a stack of paper plates open. They forgot to seal it back. So so that's not too shabby. I'm proud of those girls. The cleanest place you can eat, our cafeteria. So come and join us. I'm also proud to say that I had two ladies that was selected for the Tennessee School Nutrition Association culinary training, and that was held this month. And the ladies, April Owens from Birchville and Stacy Overton from Scott High School, attended that culinary training. Very proud of them. If some of you I know do Facebook, I know they posted a few things there. They will also be attending the TSNA conference this summer in Chattanooga, and they'll be doing presentations in the culinary. I also was selected to the Leadership Academy with TSNA, and I have completed that part, and I will also be presenting at the conference this summer in June in Chattanooga. All of our managers will be going, the central office staff, and of course April will be going. That it was a requirement for culinary, and so we'll have a good representation there. They will be in there taking classes. They're all working on, I'm encouraging them, they're working on their levels with the School Nutrition Association, the SNA Nationals. I have 3 managers, and Miss April have already became level 1, and they're working on their levels now and their standards and getting their classes in. So more of them are very close. They just have to apply and get there. So I'm real proud of all of those ladies. That's about all we've got going on right now. We're preparing, of course, to come back. We're already preparing to finish out the school year. It's going to be here before we know it, and so we're just making plans and working hard and trying to already prepare for next year. But that's all I have, unless you all have questions for me.
Okay, thank you.
You had the presentation you wanted to kind of give us?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Evening, everybody. My name's Ryan Bailey. I know many of y'all and some of y'all may not. But I'm coming up on about 22 years of service in the Air Force. And I know several years ago we had a junior reserve officer training course for the county. I saw an article the other day, actually brought it with me. It says 75% of Americans between ages 17 and 24 is not even eligible now to join the military. With that being said, a lot of people think that JRTC is actually to recruit military members, and it's not. It's just to develop better citizens. They're active in the community, they're active in a lot of functions for the school system as well. I want to see if the board might be considering reinstatement of the JRTC program for the county. It'd probably, I guess, a combination between Scott High, possibly in 09, I'm not sure, I'd have to check with them. I'm coming up on my retirement personally about August is when I'm looking at retiring from service, and then from there, I think that it would be a really good program for the school to get back to be able to maybe work to see for the children, because a lot of these kids, you know, they don't realize what's out there. Myself, I didn't even realize it was the Air Force National Guard until I was on active duty in basic training, and that we have a guard base just even in Knoxville. So a lot of people's not aware of that. But again, the main focus of JRTC is to develop better citizens. As far as funding goes, there's calculations put forth where the military will actually, the Air Force will actually do some fund matching to a certain point, and it's contractual, and I have more information that I can share later if anybody needs. It's actually developed in about, it says, the curriculum is actually developed about 40% as deals with aerospace science, about 40% deals with leadership education, and health and wellness is another 20% as well. Well, a lot of people don't, a lot of these kids can use a lot of experience in the area of leadership, and a lot of these kids are also, basically a lot of these kids can make some poor decisions when you're younger. It can actually have a big impact later in their life. I'm sure Deputy can attest for that. A lot of times there's a few small mistakes in a lot of these kids' lives, and they need a lot of good leadership and a lot of good mentorship. So I'm interested in trying to bring this program back for that very reason, and I just want to kind of present that to the board to see if that might be something to consider in the future. Again, like I said, I'm retiring in August, so more likely it'll probably be the following year, and I can meet with anybody or talk as much or as little as y'all would like about the program. Do y'all have any questions?
I know it's a good program. So
Yes, ma'am.
I hope there is an interest.
I'm sorry?
I said, I hope there is an interest in it.
I would think so. My wife came with me this afternoon. Our daughter's actually at the school now. Many of the kids I've worked with through various, mainly through soccer and some other demonstrations that we do at the high school and that with our local fire departments. So I'm hoping that by then, a lot of them know me already. A lot of them I can provide a lot of good mentorship to, because there's a lot of good careers out there, but a lot of kids, they just need to get some direction and some guidance. And thankfully for me, I was enlisted for 12 years. I've been an officer for 10. I've been both active in the active duty component, and I've also been in the reserve, or the Guard, the National Guard component. So I can talk to them on a variety of levels. My initial Air Force job was an aircraft mechanic. Then I went being an Air Force firefighter. Then I cross-trained to be, I got my commission, became an Air Force flight nurse for an aeromedical evacuation unit. So we were hauling injured and wounded and injured people. And then also now I'm a clinical nurse in the Knoxville at the base over there. So I'm pretty diverse in my background. So I can share a lot of these experiences with a lot of these kids and help give them some guidance.
Does anybody have any questions for me?
What was the reason that we lost such interest when we had the program once before?
You had to meet a certain percentage. I think the time I was a principal, we just didn't get I think, we didn't have 09 students with us at that time also too. Just simply based on the percentage that we had to have.
Percentage of the student
Percentage of the student
population?
body, yes, you gotta have a certain percentage, is that correct? I think
I believe so, yes.
they required it, was to have. I used to carry it probably a year longer
When
than
you had time?
just one of the programs to sustain and to grow and be there. It was tremendous. Program for our students while we were there.
Yes, sir, and that's kind of my end result, my end goal is, I know there's, a lot of times if there's a lack of, a fall off of participation, you know, sometimes that can be a variety of reasons, of course, but I think sometimes it's just, you know, getting out and meeting with the junior high levels even, and tell them about the programs, and tell them about the benefits and things like that. At my work now, we actually get a lot of JRTC groups that come through. We show them the different types of career paths that they have. And again, football games, they can present, they can do the flag ceremonies and things like that, and so they can do a lot. So as far as the workload, as far as the work going out and trying to get interest increased, I definitely be interested.
What age student does that start with?
It's for high school students, 9 through 12, freshman through senior. You can actually go out and, as far as, explain the program to even junior highs as well. And then, but once they do get, I think for the instructor, it's 5 out of 6 periods per day. If they decide to, it prepares them, of course, for life as well. But also, if they choose to join the military, like I said, there's no requirement by any means. But if they do, they can actually get rank, an additional rank coming out. If they decide to join the ROTC, which is the college level, to become a commissioned officer in the military, it increases their likelihood of that. And there's so many programs out there that a lot of people, thankfully with my diverse background, there's a lot of programs that we could educate them for scholarships and things like that. Just an example, even a lot of people may not even realize it's called a HPSP program. That's to help get kids to become doctors even. So, big courtesy to the Air Force if they play their cards right. But again, the main focus of the JRTC is to be a better citizen, and that's my goal, is to mentor more kids and to let them become better citizens, be more active in the community, like for instance with the volunteer fire departments and with the rescue squad, and even with a lot of even with the like the way the court systems are set up and the business and the school boards and everything. The wheels that keep the bus rolling, I guess you could say.
Does that question?
I don't know what we need to do. I guess that'd be something for us to discuss and I guess to see what kind of participants we would have before we can go forward. But I mean, I'm very interested in seeing something like that take back.
Yeah.
What's the next step you need, Ryan?
Me personally, the first thing I have to do is when I retire, I'll have to have my order of retirement, and then I can submit that to the Air Force in Maxwell Air Force Base. That's where it's managed, the program's managed. From there, I'll fill out an application. It's the school. The school system is actually who decides who would get hired for the program. So it's up to the school system actually, as far as who has the choice of hiring. Then it's from there. Basically, I fill out an application, and then once, as far as there's some paperwork that'd be involved that the school system had to send to Alabama, to Maxwell Air Force Base to finalize pay and things like that, and with the agreed terms of the contract. And they're good down there to help me out. I've talked to them a few times so far. So it might be too early for this year, but I'm hoping maybe for next, I guess it'd be FY19.
Is this something the government funds, or is this something we as a local body funds?
We fund, as a local body, fund the majority of it, I think. I don't know exactly where it comes from.
Yes, sir.
Air Force.
The way it works is and I have the paperwork for that as well. It's a calculator. They take your retired pay, then then they match what I would make if I was on active duty, and then that difference is called the MIP, minimum instructor pay. That would be met 50-50 from Air Force, and then the school system eat the other 50. Since I'm a guardsman, my retirement pay is calculated a little differently. So if that's something that then I'd have to get more information on.
No, I'm just curious how it worked.
Yes, sir. It is kind of a partial mix between the two.
Okay.
Well, we had two instructors actually the last time.
Yes, sir. You have what's called a ASI, and then an ASI, I believe is what they're called. One's an officer position. Of course, I'm currently a major in the Air Force now, and then the other is an enlisted position. And both of us would help with the drill and ceremony portion and the academic instruction portion as well. But it would be two positions. Thank you for your time, I really do appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank
very
you.
much.
Okay, Ms. Faye, do you wanna go next?
Yes, since I wasn't here last time, I'll go. Our soccer game yesterday, I want to say thanks to Mr. Hall, it went wonderfully. We had a great turnout of kids from Fairview that they bussed up. They actually brought 2 buses. We let our kids go out and watch. The game was wonderful. The weather was a little chilly, but they endured it. We had some blankets with tablecloths under them. The kids enjoyed it. We did great at the concession stand, so it wasn't like a loss for us to have to do that during the day. It was actually great for the kids to be there and see that. So that was interesting, so thank you for that. The other thing, parent-teacher conference went well. A little nervous about that, but we did it. I had help from Miss Amanda here about Title I, so we got that finished. Mr. Blakely and Mr. Hall came up and we looked at bleachers, which was kind of exciting to think that that might progress further. So that's always a plus. I put little calendars in a folder for you guys because I'm a little behind on all of that. Miss Elma's trying to keep me up and I'm losing it. I also put, I think, reports that she has for you in your mailboxes because I didn't think to put those in there. So Miss Sharon, your Miss Sharon, helped me with that. And then I also put some little letters in there about what some of our kindergarten kids are going to be doing on spring break. So please read through those. Kind of fascinating what they're going to do in a whole week. I can only hope to be that relaxed. The other thing, we're just all excited about getting this week finished so we can kind of rest up and start getting stressed about testing. But we're kind of ready for that as well. You know, I feel like our group is working hard. We've done the practice test. They've been in the computer lab. I've kind of been watching them. They're kind of sick of seeing me lurking in the hallway, but it's well. But I'm ready for Sharon to come back. So Lou, I'm going to be visiting soon. But we're trucking right along, and we miss her. We want her back, but we're doing our job. So unless you have anything, I'm going to go to Robbins and see my kids play. Is that
Thank
good?
you.
I'm out of here.
Ms. Goodman?
Okay. Ms. Hamilton wanted me to send her apologies. She had a family emergency today, that's why she's not here. And then Ms. Newman wanted me to let you know that they had a 4:30 ball game and it's parent night for soccer, so that's why she's not here. At the top of the list, of course, is we wish everyone a happy and safe spring break next week. Everyone's looking forward to that. There's no school this Friday for the parents that are watching. Our 8th grade parent night for soccer is Monday, April the 9th. Our 10 ready testing begins April the 16th through May 4th. That is a 3-week window, and probably to a lot of people that sounds like it's a long time compared to what we've done in the past. We've had a 2-week window, but these are online. 5 through 8 is online. Computer labs are full, and we are testing from 8:15 to 2:30 all 15 days, and we are pushing it. So next year, when that 5th grade class is as big as the other 2 coming through, I'm not real sure what we're going to do. We're going to figure something out because this year's schedule's been really tough. Even with that 3 extra week, it is taking every moment of every day to get all those kids in there and get them through on the testing. So, a couple of things we do want to remind some of the parents. Please make sure your child eats breakfast, and if not, get them there to school on time so they can eat breakfast from the cafeteria. We ask they get a good night's rest, be to school by 8 o'clock. Before would be even better. Try not to leave before 2:30. We'll be testing right up until 2:30. So if you've got appointments in the evening, we're asking during that testing time if you could change that, switch that out, something. Testing will start at 8:15, so please don't be tardy and try to be there the whole day, those 3 weeks. I do have a couple of things for the agenda. Ms. Hamilton was going to present this, and of course she's not here, so I don't have all the information, all the details for you. She has that. I know she's been in contact with Mr. Bailey. But every year there's a group from Georgia who comes in and helps work at the schools. And it's Huntsville's turn this year, so we're needing that put on the agenda. We need approval for them to be able to come in here and use our cafeterias and things like that. We've got people set up to take care of all of that. And again, Lisa's got all the details for that. We just need that put on the agenda for that. The other thing, we have a couple of basketball camps that are coming up that's going to be out of town, and it's overnight stay that we're going to need put on the agenda. One of them is to Murfreesboro, and it is the 29th through the 30th. Let me go back to my notes. That's on May 29th and 30th in Murfreesboro. The other one that we have has 4 days, but our students are not staying 4 days, they're staying 2. Mr. Shoemaker put 4 because we're not sure which 2 days that we're gonna be using. So we're putting 4 on there, but it's only 2 days. And that is going to be June 4th through the 7th, and that one's in Sevierville. So those are the 2 that we need added to the agenda. Did that cover it? You have any questions for me?
Thank you. Miss Tanya?
Thank you. I have one item for the agenda, and that's Birchfield Beta Club trip to Nashville, Tennessee, May the 14th through the 16th. Going to hopefully take those kids in there, have some really great tours lined up with the Hermitage and the Parthenon and the state capitol. So I'm hoping those kids will have a great time while they're there. Would love to thank the retired teachers that came out this past Friday. Enjoyed seeing them. They looked well rested and just full of energy. And one day I will make it there to have all that energy as well. But was so glad to see all of them out. The weather wasn't very cooperative, but it was good to see all of them there. Also want to thank Mayor Perdue's office. They came today and delivered our water bottles. The maintenance also installed our last water station in our cafeteria. So we appreciate all that. All that kind of happened today, which was really good. We have a soccer game scheduled for this Thursday against Robbins. Again, weather permitting. That's the bad thing about soccer season. It's during that spring and all the water that we're getting ready to get. So just the rescheduling, but doing really well. And of course, as they have mentioned, we have started practice testing online. And let me talk a little bit to that. The testing online, technology-wise, is not going to be a problem. However, some of those test questions, the way those testing types are set up, if those kids are not online and practicing that test, it's almost like they're being tested on a computer skill because they have to know how to move that protractor. They have to know how to put those fractions in there. So that online practice testing is crucial for these students to do that, or they will not know how to operate when the actual test comes. So I just want to put that out there. It's almost like they're giving us a computer skills test instead of a content area test. But we are ready to go. Just like Ms. Donna said, the scheduling for our testing is complete. We have about 3 days that we have for makeup days in there, but if you all would like to have a copy of that schedule, I can forward that to you. Just getting busy and ready for that testing and ready to relax and breathe a little bit during this spring break. And I don't have anything else unless you have something for me.
Thank you. Mr. Cash?
Thank you. I don't have anything for the agenda. Like most of the others say, you know, we're doing the online test, practice test, and it's, like Ms. Tanya just said, it's an experience for the kids because it is more like learning skills on the computer. So I'm interested to see how it goes in a couple of weeks. Our schedule, I will give Mr. Bond a lot of credit. He said about a month ago how the scheduling was going to be kind of rough at Fairview because of the number of computers, and it's a good thing we haven't had 3 or 4 more kids transfer in because it'd be a mess. So, but we'll get through it, and looking forward to doing it. See how the kids do. I think they'll do a good job. It'll be a good experience. Our pre-K and kindergarten portfolios are pretty much finished. I want to thank Ms. Keaton and Ms. Amanda for helping us with subs. It's allowing our kindergarten and pre-K teachers to spend a little extra time in getting that finished. I know my 3 have done an excellent job on their portfolios, but it has been a lot of work on them. So pretty much I appreciate all the hard work they have done. Soccer, it's like testing and soccer, and testing and soccer, and testing. That's what's going on. Got a home game tonight against Huntsville. Tomorrow we go to Robbins, and it's another day game. I think that the girls start at 11:30. Then when we get back from spring break, we play Birchfield at home on the 9th, and then we come to Birchfield on the 10th. And if for some reason it is getting rain the next couple days, so if it doesn't rain, if it does rain tomorrow, I guess that gives us Thursday, the next Wednesday. It's scheduled on that. Soccer schedule is very tight too. So, and then like Ms. Donna said, Good Friday and Easter this weekend. Hope everybody had a great holiday, and then spring break next week. You know, looking forward to the break. Anybody traveling, hope them safe travels. Get rested up and come back. We'll have a week, and then we'll hit the testing for 3 weeks. So that's all I have, unless you guys have anything for me.
Thank you. Mr. Shoemaker.
I do not have anything for the agenda, but we have been in the schools the last few weeks, working very hard to try to finalize our vision and hearing screenings. We are down to now just those students that were absent on the day that we came through the first go around. And it has been quite a challenge, but a good challenge, because our new equipment that we were very fortunate to get this year, with the help, of course, of the board, Mr. Hall and Miss Amanda and special ed, and I could thank a lot of people, but it is absolutely outstanding, especially the vision machine, on how quickly that it works and how good that it is. It is so good that within 3 to 5 seconds, I can have 23 snapshots. It takes 23 snapshots of the inside of the eye. And so it just does not check for 20/40 vision or 20/30 vision. I know if they have astigmatisms, and it takes a picture of their face, and I can go and print that off and send that home, and it's something they can take to the optometrist, and they can look and see every weakness that they may have, and it's absolutely outstanding. And so I thank you all for that, and it's so good that even our teachers are wanting their eyes checked whenever we go in the classroom, because
Charge them.
we could do that. So it's some of that money back. But we finished up with Birchfield today. The next 2 days, I will be going back around to all the schools to get those students that were absent. And then next month, I should be able to bring in and present to you all and give you a copy of each school's BMI ratings and where we stand at that area. And as far as sports physicals go, we're already getting close to that time again this year. Those dates are set for Tuesday, May the 8th at the Boys and Girls Club. Scott High will be at 8:15. Robbins will be at 9:30. And then Fairview will come in at 12. And then on Thursday, May 17th, at the Boys and Girls Club also, Huntsville Middle School will be at 8:15. Winfield will be at 9:30. And Birchfield will come in at 12:15. So parents, all those packets should be going home to you in the next week or two for those things to be filled out and all that information be brought back in. And we do encourage, if you are considering playing sports next year, this is a great thing, and it's free. That Mountain Peoples does for us and our students, and it's absolutely outstanding what they do for us. So that's all I have, unless you all have some questions for me at this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Miss Debbie.
We've been busy in special ed. I don't know if I mentioned to you all at the last work session, but February the 27th, Colleen Van Dyke from the State Department came in and trained our special ed teachers that worked with children ages 3 through 6 on the early childhood outcome. Of course, that's information that we have to report on the IEP. March the 1st, we did have a parent training for our parents that have children in our special ed program. And of course, we focused on homework strategies, and so we had several parents that did come out for that. Parent-teacher conferences, we had a lot of parents that picked up brochures. We put brochures out related to the disabilities and services that are available in our school district for children identified with a disability. And I want to let you all know, I know everyone's been talking about the TCAP testing. We have already started our MSAA testing, which is like the ALT testing that we do for children in our CDC classrooms. So we have already started that. Of course, our ending date will be May the 4th for that. We have applied for our progress monitoring tool that we use. The State Department offers a discretionary grant. So we have applied for that. We haven't heard back yet if we get that, but that That is very, very valuable to us in special ed. We do that 3 times a year benchmark testing and weekly progress monitoring. I do have one thing for the agenda. I want to ask permission from the board to ask finance to start bidding for our related services for the 2018-19 school year. And of course, that will be our OT, PT, speech, vision, and hearing. And that's all I have, unless you all have any questions.
Thank you. Ms. Amanda, did you have anything?
I do. For the agenda, I have Amendment 5 to the federal budget. The coaching network got a small amount of money, so I moved that in. And then for the summer grant, they wanted us at the state to move, to separate the bus drivers and the fuel. So that's what you see there, and I think you have a copy of it. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Bond?
I have nothing for the agenda. As the principals have told you, the testing is getting ready to actually start in earnest at your middle school and elementary school levels. And they're going to find what I've been, my crew's been telling you guys for years now. Replacing a pencil and a piece of paper with a computer. It's a whole lot of logistics. So they'll be able to test this year. We've already got plans, and it will require your guys' buy-in. We got plans for making it better next year. Not a lot in the grand scheme of things, but I'll have that written up for you and presented to you, and you know. But we're there. We can test. That's the big thing. We can test. Now we need to make it to where the scheduling is a little bit more open for the school, so that they're not having to 8 o'clock to 3 o'clock without any kind of flexibility. That's all I have.
Okay, thank you. Mr. Blake?
I just have one thing for the agenda, a budget amendment for CTE. I gave you a copy of it. It's a rather small amount, but I'm slowly but surely getting my money where I can start moving it around and get it all expended. This will zero these 2 line items out, and I can buy more equipment and supplies with it. I'll probably have one more amendment to finish out the year, but that'll be for next month. So I'd like to have that on the agenda. Just as a matter of information, we're having our textbook caravan tomorrow for the science adoption. This is a big year in adoption, and the caravan is a new thing a new old thing. They used to do it evidently back in the day. I've never seen one and never participated in one, but we had to select our top 3 or 4 textbook providers in science, and they're going to come to Huntsville Elementary and do their presentations to the groups. And it'll be from 8 to about 11, and there'll be maybe some question and answer time. It's kind of been a big logistic thing, and I do want to thank Miss Lisa Hamilton and for allowing us to use the playroom, for Stephen Burris, PE teacher, for being able to shift his classes around, and also Robin Carroll, our maintenance person. He was helpful. My crew helped us get set up today, and also Dr. Terry Keaton and Melody Chambers are going to help with the refreshments. The way it is, you have to pick your top 3 or 4, and we got it down to 3. So there'll be 3 different sections going on at once. There'll be one group here, one group here, one group here, and then they'll rotate. So you kind of get maximum use of time, but we really, I was scratching my head. I didn't know where I was going to have to get 3 rooms free right together for half of a day. And this worked out really well, and I just want to thank all the people involved. And also, we've been talking about bleachers a little bit, and I just got an email from Alan Hill, and he'll be here Wednesday, April 11th in the morning with the representative. It's what they're tentatively looking at to work on the bleachers at Winfield and Robbins. Yeah, and he sent me some links and things, but April 11th in that morning. So I'll keep you apprised of how that goes, and some of you may want to be there with us when we tour the sites. But the trucks are in service. Y'all will have the opportunity to see them tomorrow. The guys are gonna have them at your, meeting tomorrow for you to look at, and they're very, very appreciative. They're very thankful to have these new trucks. And we do wanna thank the board for providing them. And, same with all the new equipment we've been able to buy, like the floor equipment and the trucks, and so we do appreciate that very much. And we appreciate the support of Director Hall and all of this. And we, as Miss Susan said, he came up and we looked at all the situation from Winfield's bleachers and setback and all the things. So unfortunately, you can't just, it's hard just to buy them and set them. You know, you gotta do it, to do it the right way takes some time. And that's what we're trying to do, is do them the right way, and hopefully be something that will be in use for a long time, that the school and the community will be proud of, and that you'll be proud of. And that's all I've got, unless you have any questions.
Okay, thank you. Did I overlook anybody? If not, you're next, Mr. Hall.
Well, thank you. Items for the agenda, I'd like to ask the board to approve the TSBA membership dues for the next year. Also would like to request for the extended utilization of buses. Also, of course, we have used 14 days now of our allotted 13 days for this calendar school year. We do need to add 1 day onto our calendar. Right now, I would like to ask the board to amend the calendar to add 1 day at the end of the school year, which would take May 24th from a service day to a full day. Would make May 25th from a full day taught to a service day, and then May 26th would be the last day of school as the abbreviated day. And that is a Saturday.
What about the sickness? Do we get any days
No.
excused for sickness?
No. As of right now, no. The State Department would have to be considered an epidemic or an emergency type situation. Right now, that's not been done. So as of today, no. Now, if that was to be done within the next period of time, then it would be a situation where I would come back to this board to ask to go back to the original calendar. As of right now, no.
Do you think that's a possibility?
No. No. I mean, I'm not speaking for them, but what I've been told, no. And that's all I do have for the agenda. Would like to remind everyone too that this Friday, no school for Scott County Schools, but the observance of Good Friday. Easter weekend, and let's all remember why, the reason that we do celebrate Easter. Also next week, spring break, and I know everyone is looking forward to tremendous spring break, and I hope everyone has a safe and happy Easter weekend and spring break. And that's all I have, unless y'all have questions for me.
Thank you. Do you have anything, Mr. Silcox?
I just wondered how many pre-registered for kindergarten do you have?
I don't have the numbers with me right now.
We can get them.
Miss Keaton is subbing in for myself and Miss Abbott at Clinch Powell meeting tonight, so she would have those. I can get those to you in the morning.
Do you have anything?
Just wish everybody a good Easter and a good spring break.